Hey guys, good afternoon. So this is our new segment. I don't know if I can do this all the time, but because this is a new channel and I can do different types of videos, going lower and deeper into the stock market, we're gonna try to give you moment by moment updates on what's going on with the market, the index, and individual stocks. So right now we are in GCQ, and in my opinion, that gave a sigh of relief to a lot of people who are watching the economy. Now, so in this video, I want to talk about first the PSEI. I want to talk about the effect of GCQ to the PSEI. Then I want to talk about the effect of GCQ in the economy. And then I'm just going to give some of my inputs as well in all of this. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Marvin Germo. I'm a stock market trader and investor, and I've been investing in the markets for more than a decade now, and I've been making daily videos about investing, about trading, with one goal and one heart in mind, just to give you enough information so you can trade the markets with confidence. So, what you're seeing right now, this is my second channel. I have another channel. We have over 1,600 videos there. It's named Marvin Germo. So, if you want to know more about fundamentals, technicals, and the basics of the market, you can hop over there. If you want deep dives on relevant, timely content, along with stock charts and along with US stocks, this is the channel for you, stock investing made easy. So if you want to know more about this, like, share, and subscribe to be updated every time I come up with new content about the stock market and investing. So yesterday, there was an announcement that the Metro Manila and the surrounding provinces would head back into GCQ, which from an economic standpoint was a really, really good idea because more stringent lockdown measures won't be as good for the economy. And the biggest problem with the MECQ was basically transportation, public transportation was not available, meaning for businesses that would like to operate, that have safety protocols, that need also to jumpstart and restart their businesses, it would be hard for employees to go to their offices. And in the same way, if you are a establishment that sells food, etc., if there's not a lot of traffic going to that particular area because there's not a lot of travel, then it would have been a good idea for a lot of those establishments to not open at that particular point in time. Now that we have the GCQ starting tomorrow, 50% of those businesses can run and move in capacity. So I think that's a good way to jumpstart. But based on what I've been seeing now and all that's going on, I don't know if this would be a very, very fast recovery for our markets. I don't know if this is something that will uh, that we could possibly have a V-shaped recovery, as what everyone was saying also last April. That we could go up fast depending on certain conditions. However, I'm not seeing those conditions being met. As you all know, our GDP contracted by 16.5%, and when people were saying that the third quarter would be better, that was under the context that we would be up, we would be that the GCQ would be in play, but not just that, that the lockdown measures would be somehow not as tight anymore. So the MECQ that happened for 2 weeks somehow dampened whatever momentum we had when we started to reopen the economy last June. That being said, though, I'm not a health expert also, but I really believe that we can't also overload the health system. We can't overload hospitals. We can't overload uh, our health workers as well, because more and more infections that happen as we start to continually open up the economy, uh, it opens up the chances that more and more people will be affected or infected. And the problem with that is, if we run out of beds, then we might head into a deeper problem later on, and we might go into another lockdown again, which will be even worse, which will give a larger and badder economic impact to the Philippines. So that being said, I think whoever is deciding on this is also in a very, very tough situation to somehow put a uh, put a semblance and sync everything and find a sweet spot where the economy will still be okay, that we start to gradually reopen even further. But in the same way, we do not infect, or we get to protect the ones that are healthy, and we also get to treat the ones that are infected. And I really believe that uh, the proper tracing and the proper treatment and the proper isolation of those that are really infected, would go a really, really long way for this to actually work. And even though there's been mention of vaccines and cures, the actual distribution of this, I think it will still take more than a year. I'm not a fortune teller, I'm not a forecaster, but I think this could even drag on to the end of 2021. I don't know. And please remember, I've said this in a lot of videos on my first channel, that uh, it will still come to a point that we will see the economy kickstart when consumer behavior goes back to normal, when it will be comfortable for people to start to go out again and actually spend like the way they used to in 2019. But until that comes back to normal, not yet. I think it will take some time. If there's one thing that I'd like to point out, though, is the resilience of entrepreneurs, the resilience of good business people, because 5 months in, since we started doing the lockdowns, a lot of them have started to pivot, a lot of them have started to shift, and a lot of them are starting to get the feel of what life will be in this new normal. A lot of them will have a feel also of how things could possibly go if this will also drag on. And I'll keep saying this, especially for people who are invested in stocks. Please do note this: good companies in bad times become even better. Bad companies, those that were really not so good, maybe they took on too much debt, their cash positions were low, their income really wasn't good altogether already, they were vulnerable in their sector, or their competitor was beating them. Bad companies during bad times really don't do so well. It's the good companies that come out bigger, better, stronger on top of this. So your responsibility as an investor at this point in time is to figure out and to stay away from the ones that won't be able to thrive and pivot in this economy, and to just focus on, double down the ones that will do so well. Now, let's look at the index first. Let's talk about the general market before I go on with the numbers. By the way, if you're learning from this and this is something that's helping you, comment I'm learning, comment that this is something that's helping. So the PSEI closed 1.44% up. It it pushed higher to the 6,156 level. And what's interesting about that is it allows the index to go up and above the psychological 6,000 range. And I've posted videos on the PSEI on where it is from the longer downward trend and where it is from the support and resistance range that could cause the markets to be sold down. Now, I want to mention also that majority of the sub indices were also up. Sorry, not majority, but all indices were up, from the financials to the holdings to the property to the to the services to the mining and oil. They're relatively up. And looking at the PSEI, the larger ones help push the market higher. Remember what I said in another video, that as long as SM, which moved the market today, SM Prime moved the market today, BDO is also part of it, but the largest mover that caused the markets to go higher was basically SM and SM Prime. So if they also move, the market also moves. And if you look at Ali is down, but it wasn't really a very, very strong drag down to bring the markets at a much lower pace. Now the question that people are trying to say is this: a 1.44 percent change, is that enough already to commensurate the good news that the GCQ is there? Uh, two ways to look at it. Number one, in my opinion, a lot of people have been somehow no pegging that, although it's unpredictable also, we don't know how it will be decided. But a lot of people were already pegging that MECQ won't last for more than 2 weeks, because it will, the longer we stay in very, very stringent lockdown measures, the more fragile our economy would become. And of course, as a balance, remember the sweet spot that I mentioned, that there has to be a sweet spot where people are isolated, tested, tracked, and treated well. But in the same way, we get to restart the economy. The ones that are healthy get to take part and go on with their normal activities. So since people were pegging that it won't last as long, it came to a point that the market was actually saying that this is good news that there's lesser lockdown measures. But in the same way, although this is good news, this is something that's not so shocking. This is something that's not as uh, as something that will cause people to buy more as compared to when the markets when they announced GCQ for June. Remember that end of May, market started to shoot up a bit compared to where we are now. But then again, please remember from a charting standpoint, we are at a much better place now than where we were last March. And remember what I said also in the first channel that August, all of the bad economic and company related data would be released. Now, people have the ability to decide to take action not based on speculation anymore, not based on forecast, not based on what we could be, but based on what the numbers are. So that's what I believe the results of the index is. So we are steadily moving still up. We have not really broken out from a longer downward trend, but we are at a much better spot. However, there's still a lot of uncertainty involved. We still have to see also how companies are rebound and start to earn more this third and fourth quarter. But the more we open up, the more businesses get to start to earn more, and in the same way, we get to curve the infections, we get to curve people getting sick, then it becomes a very, very good idea that there will be I think there will be better appetite for investing the more certainty and the more evidence that we have that things are getting better. But in the same way, just to manage expectations, the more certainty and the more evidence that we have that things are getting better, that would actually mean that prices won't be as cheap as where they were before. That's how it is. At the point of maximum risk is the point of maximum reward also because you get to buy it cheaper. At the point of lesser risk, you will it's not as scary, but you buying it at a higher price will be very evident and it will also limit your upside. Now, I want to mention also in terms of foreign buying and selling, you have foreign selling at around 229 million pesos still. And if you stretch the periods where foreigners have been selling, it's been quite a while already that foreigners have been getting out in our markets. And just to end, I just wanted to say this. If you look at economies in our region in Asia, we've been the outlier. Majority of the countries in our region, their markets have done better. For us, we've rebounded, we've gone up, but we're not yet close to where other countries are. We're not. The U.S. markets, the Nasdaq, S&P 500 have been pushing towards highs. Us, we're still far from it. At a PE ratio of around 17, uh, we're not super cheap, but also I don't know if people are willing to buy us at a higher price given the uncertainty. So there, that's my thoughts on the GCQ. Another one, just before I end, I wanted to share this. If you are a person where your income is not affected, your business is not affected, cash flow is still coming in, the best thing that you can do right now is to spend. Stimulate the economy. Doesn't mean you have to go out. I'm not saying that you go out, because right now even we are in GCQ or we will be in GCQ. I'm putting a self-imposed ECQ and I'm still just staying at home. I've only gone out less than 20 times, mostly for grocery supermarkets and sometimes for important stuff that I really need to settle outside. But above and beyond that, I've been staying at home. So that being said, try to find ways on how you can spend from your houses. Try to find ways on how you can spend ordering online, supporting friends businesses, supporting entrepreneurs, because I'll never stop saying this, the economy is made up of transactions. As you start to spend, someone else will make money off of that. As they make money off of that, they can spend, and as they spend, someone makes money off of that as well, and the wheels will keep on turning. If you are a person that your cash flow is affected, your savings is affected, you are still in debt, by all means, cash is king. Try to save as much as you can. Try not to spend on things that you don't need. You need to preserve your capital right now, because the more uncertainty that will be there, you need your cash. But if you're not affected, regardless of what industry you are, if your business is booming, spend as much as you can, support your friends, your entrepreneur friends, bilhin niyo yung mga product nila, wag na kayo tumawad, try to help them, try to kickstart everything. And matutuwa asawa ko nito sa sinasabi ko na to, but one of the best things that you could ever do also to stimulate the economy is to spend on Shopee and Lazada. Comment below if you're a wife and you believe in what I'm saying. But I hope you get the point. The one way we can do, I cannot control the economy, but I can control how I spend. And I can intentionally know where to spend my money so that at least it kickstarts a certain sector. So imagine this. My first channel has over 136,000 subscribers. This channel has close to 5,000 subscribers. You add it up, we have around 140,000. If 140,000 of us spend 10,000 pesos, I don't know what amount we spend, but you multiply that, then it suddenly, there's a trickle effect, that there's an impact that could be done in the economy. And for those that are not subscribed, spend na rin kayo so that it helps also. And this is so funny coming from a finance channel and investing YouTube channel, but it's the truth eh. If you're not as affected, you are okay. Help stimulate the economy, but in the same way, study the markets well para may pang-invest pa rin kayo. So that's my take on the index. If you have not watched this on my first channel, I talked about PLDT's earnings, how good they are, where they're headed, what's the narrative for PLDT. Then in this channel, I posted stocks by request for Semirara, for Sirtec, for AREIT giving out their dividends, and all of the US stocks that you guys requested are also in this channel. So if you like more of this, the stuff that I've been saying, appreciate it if you can like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And aside from that, if you want to learn more about the markets, I have books from available from Shopee. You just have to click the link below. I have 2 online courses with Chinkee Tan and Sean Si that you can also join. In I also have a YouTube community that I started. I'll be posting content there as well. So you can click the link below for the community. It's like a Facebook group, but for YouTube. So it's right in the description below as well. And then for those who want to enroll and buy US stocks, eToro will allow you to buy Amazon, Google, Facebook for $50 only. So like I would always say in the first channel, if you guys have questions, just put them in the comment section and I'll try to answer as much of it as possible. I'll try to give you as much value as possible. If you have a personal question, slide a DM over in Instagram, and as much as I can, I'll try. I won't be able to reply to everyone, but I'm doing my best to reply to as much as I can, as often as I can. So I guess that's it. If you guys got value from this, like this channel, subscribe to both of my channels, and share this. Let's spread investing in the stock market to more and more Filipinos. And I guess that's it. Marvin Gurmo, I really, really hope that this gives you enough value that it allows you to trade the markets with confidence. So that's it for now. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.